What's up? It's Marco back again on the Sage of Soccer channel, and today I'm going to be covering the Sunday games from match week 4 of the Premier League. And there are 6 games today, and we've got a lot to talk about. So I'm just going to get into it, and we're going to start off with West Ham beating Leicester 3-0. And it was a pretty bad performance by Leicester. While they did start off on the front foot, I thought they got beat on the break pretty easily. Cresswell played in a good ball to Antonio. That was able to give West Ham the lead, and after that, it really wasn't any looking back by West Ham. I think that they really switched off on a second goal. Cresswell again, he punched the ball forward, and I'm honestly not even sure if it was a pass or a clearance, but Fornals was able to bring it down with a great touch, and went on and he was able to score. And aside from that, after that, Leicester really wasn't able to get into the game. They weren't getting anything going. I thought that Harvey Barnes should have tried to get onto the ball more. He's had a great start to the season. He got called to England, and after all that, I really think he should have had the moxie to say, give me the ball, I need to do something. He was the one who scored that chance, even though it was offsides for that consolation goal, and I thought that he should have done more. Commentary kept mentioning that they should get wider. I really agreed. I felt like how narrow Leicester was played into West Ham's strengths, especially with Declan Rice and Soucek in the middle. Those are two really strong players, and they weren't able to get anything going. I also think that Iosi Perez, he didn't have his best game, and Jamie Vardy, I don't know if I want to call it a bad game because he really wasn't able to get involved, but as I said, he wasn't able to get involved. This is an attack that really misses James Maddison and a defense that really misses Wilfred Ndidi in front of him. The defense was pretty poor today in general. I mean, they're getting beat a lot, and Marty got hurt as well, and I'm pretty sure he's only in there because Ndidi's hurt. So maybe they need to make a signing at center back. It's a little bit late for that, though, and maybe they should switch to a back four. I'm not sure how Castagna would adjust to that, but I feel like they did play their best at a back four, and hopefully once Maddison and Ndidi get back, they'll get back to their form, but it's not too much of a big deal. I mean, they still have 9 points from 4 games for Leicester. So for West Ham, though, it was a great performance. As I mentioned, Antonio had a nice goal, a little bit against the run of play, but Antonio had a great game all around. He was looking dangerous, and great job by him. He's been on form a lot lately. Cresswell, as I mentioned, he had an assist for both of the first 2 goals. As I mentioned, I'm not sure about the second one. Fornals, he had a great goal. As I mentioned, he had amazing touch on the first, and he set up the third one with to Bowen. He was pretty quiet today, but understandable because they were up early, so they wanted to be more defensive. Declan Rice and Soucek were dealing with that Leicester midfield really well. I really rate that defense. Great job by them, and their defense was dealing with Vardy very well. They were stepping up and intercepting passes and also not getting beaten behind. Ogbonna especially was playing great today. It was a great performance all around for West Ham. Picking man of the match for this game, it is tough because there were a lot of good performances, but the guy who really affected the attack and defense a lot was Aaron Cresswell, so I'm going to go with him. So for the next game, not really the next game, it's going on at the same time. Southampton beat West Brom 2-0. So it was a great performance by Southampton, who executed their game plan to perfection. The press was on against a West Brom team who still liked playing it out of the back. They were dominating possession. They had an early goal with Djengpo getting it in. Ward-Prowse set up the opener with a really good pass, and then it kind of got bounced around the box. Djengpo was able to pick it up and finish it. And on the second goal, Nathan Redmond who's back, by the way. I thought he was out for a while, but Nathan Redmond's back. That's definitely good for Southampton. He set Armstrong on a pass. He was able to put it into Remehu, who scored off a really nice volley. As I mentioned, for Southampton, the press was working very well for them, and they were dominating possession throughout the entire game. It was a great job by them, and I think that Kyle Walker-Peters, he was looking really good this game, going forward and dealing with the West Brom wingers, who are probably the best part of their team very well. Danny Ings, despite not being directly involved with any of the goals, he was looking really lively. I do want to say more for Shea Adams. I haven't been too impressed with him this year. I mean, I can't believe it's 2020 and I'm saying this, but maybe Shane Long should get back in there. But still, great result by Southampton. Their defense was looking the best it did all year. I think this was the first time that Vestergaard and Bednarik played together this year, and they were looking very good alongside Kyle Walker-Peters and Ryan Bertrand. And also McCarthy was making some good saves. So for West Brom, not a good result by them. They really did not look like a threat, and honestly, they've got a lot of players who aren't Premier League level, especially Sawyers, Townsend, and Ajayi. I really don't rate any of those three, and they're going to need to maybe make signings or maybe just find a system that works that can get the best out of them. I really think they need to stop playing it out the back. Not a great look when, especially against a pressing team like Southampton. I don't understand the choice in that. I think this is a team that needs to find its identity. Like, they're kind of in the middle. They want to play attacking, but they're playing a back five a lot, and they don't defend very well, but they're not scoring goals at a great rate outside of that Chelsea game. And honestly, it really looks like they're going down right now. I think that Bilic will be fired, and depending on who they bring in, maybe they'll be able to get something going, but not a great result at all, and I'm not very confident in West Brom. So man of the match for this game, obviously from Southampton. I was really impressed with Kyle Walker-Peters today, so I think I'm going to go with him. Great result by him. He's been really good since he signed permanently. So for the next game, Arsenal beat Sheffield United 2-1, and for Arsenal, I'd say this was not an exceptional performance, probably an expected game, I guess. I mean, they were dominating possession, as they do, but they weren't able to get a goal until I think the game really changed when Arteta brought Pepe on. Pepe really changed the dynamic of this game. They got a combination play down the right with him involved. It ended with Bellerin putting in a really nice cross to Saka, who was able to get another goal. I'm glad that they were able to start him. Also, Ceballos got to start again this weekend. He had a really nice pass to Aubameyang that probably should have been finished. Then Pepe had another great goal for the second one. He picked it up in midfield, I think, just about, and he was able to take it all the way himself. Great substitution by Arteta, and a great job by the Arsenal attack. Their defense was still a little bit suspect. David Luiz made a pretty big mistake that wasn't punished just because Leno happened to be in the right place at the right time, and they did allow the first goal of the season to Sheffield, though. I don't think that was really bad defending, though. But overall, still a good win for Arsenal. I believe that's 9 points for them. It's a really strong start to the season. So for Sheffield, not a great performance. I really think that they need some new blood in this team. I mean, just looking through, and there's a lot of players kind of similar to West Brom, except with good coaching. Like, I'm looking through this team, and I really don't rate Ben Osborne. I don't think he's good enough, and Lundstrom really has been setting the world on fire this year. I think in defense, I'd really like to see Ampadu start over Robinson. Especially in this system where Robinson doesn't get forward very well, and Ampadu's a very good player on the ball. Also, a prolific striker would really help them. Hopefully Brewster could be that for them, but I do like Oliver Burke and McGoldrick, but goals are needed. I mean, McGoldrick got one, but I don't think he's someone you can really rely on week in and week out. Honestly, it might be a good idea to add some wingers, because their wingbacks have not been doing well this year. Baldock and Stevens, they haven't been getting forward very well. They haven't been great defensively. Maybe just adding some more width would help this Sheffield team. I'm not sure if they really have the personnel for it, but Burke's been looking good. I mean, they do have a lot of fullbacks. Maybe one of Bogle or Lowe could do that. I'm not sure. I need to look at Sheffield's team more closely, but I feel like that change might help them. And I do think that they have enough quality to play with only a two-man midfield. I mean, I do really rate Burge there. He's probably the only player who I'm really high on for Sheffield. But their defense, it's still not what it should be, especially with how they're set up. They need to not be conceding as much as they have been, and with no wins in their first 4 games, no points, I should say, they're definitely in a relegation battle. So man of the match, I think you could tell from how I was talking about him, Nicolas Pepe. He came on and changed the game. Great performance by him, and great substitution by Arteta. So next we had Fulham beat Wolves 1-0. So it was a good bounce back result for Wolves, but it wasn't a great performance. But I think it should be said that it wasn't the full strength Wolves team. They had to start this guy Kilman at left back, and while he did do well, Vinagre is leaving. He's going to, I think, Olympiacos, I saw. And they're bringing in a new left back whose name is not any easier to pronounce. Ryan Nori. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered that. I'll listen to the commentary say it when he plays. But they also rested Adama Traore and João Moutinho, at least in the first half. And this wasn't a full-strength Wolves team. Aside from that, I do think that Neto was looking really dangerous for them. I think Neves and Dendoncker were doing well. I think that Dendoncker needs to get more game time, if that's at Wolves or somewhere else, because he is a pretty good player. Then their defense still showed some holes. I'm really not sure about Seiss. Maybe they need to bring in another center back. Unfortunately, it can't be Ruben Diaz now, but I'm sure Benfica's got somebody else coming through. But Connor Cody had a really good defensive play, and his passing is still really good. And I do rate Bowley. I think he's a good defender. It wasn't the best game by Wolves, but with limited personnel, a win's a win. You have to take those 3 points, especially after the last game. So for Fulham, I think it was an improvement by them, but they still have no points. So they started their American guy, new signing left back Anthony Robinson, along with Lamarchand and Aina, who were, I think it was their first time starting this year. Not positive. But I think their defense looked a lot better today. Now, I still think that they need to sign another center back if they want to stay up, but it was an improvement. Areola was looking really good in net, and I missed this loan signing completely. Lookman was brought into Fulham, and he looked really good today. He changed the game when he came on. He had a great pass into Mitrovic, who set up a Kamara, but he missed a pretty big chance for Fulham that could have given them a point. Overall, it was an improvement by Fulham, but still no points from 4 games. So man of the match, I probably have to go with the goal scorer Pedro Neto for Wolves. And good result by Wolves, not the best performance, but hey, if you need 3 points, it's 3 points. Now we get to the crazy part of today with Tottenham beating Manchester United 6-1. So I'm just going to start with Manchester United. Things started really well for them. Martial won a penalty off a Bruno Fernandes pass, and Bruno Fernandes was able to finish off the penalty. 1-0 start to the game. Then everything went downhill. Maguire made a pretty huge mistake, and Shaw really failed to clear the ball, and that gifted Spurs a goal. And their defense just switched off after fouling Kane on the second goal. That's something that you can't do at any level, especially just the top level. And when you're dealing with all the criticism like Maguire has been, you can't be making mistakes like that. He's probably going to end up being dropped pretty soon. So I should say that after the second goal, I thought their attack got a lot more involved. And honestly, in the first half hour, their attack was really involved. I was criticizing Manchester United in the past because they weren't able to get Rashford or Martial or Greenwood on the ball, but that was looking a lot better today, it should be said. But then Spurs get a corner kick, and Martial ends up shoving Lamela in the face. It was a really soft call, but still a really stupid decision by Martial, and he got sent off. And after that, Bailly just gifted the ball right to Spurs. They were able to get another goal. They got another one before halftime. Pogba kind of fell asleep, and Spurs got away from him, and they just conceded. They continued conceding in the second half, and they're not defending well as a team. And honestly, I think the bad part is it's not from a lack of effort. Like, I'm looking at Aaron Wan-Bissaka make a bunch of tackles, Bailly lays body on the line, and maybe Maguire, but this is a team that's trying, and they're failing. Like, honestly, just going through the defense, the marking itself is bad. They're losing a lot of players. I don't think they're communicating well. You should be able to hear it right now, especially with no crowd noise. There really isn't much communication, and honestly, the defensive talent might not be there. I think that they might need to go to a more defensive system, or they're going to need to get a lot of goals, one or the other. So, and also, I hear a lot of people talking about how Manchester City is spending a lot on defenders, but at least they've had a couple of hits. I mean, Laporte is really good, and Walker has been really good. But I don't think United have had a great signing since Ferguson left. I mean, Shaw, he got injured, so I don't want to judge him too much, but Maguire hasn't been great. Lindelof hasn't changed anything. I won't buy you again, he's been injured a lot, but... And Wan-Bissaka, I still really like his promise, but he definitely hasn't changed their defense. But they have to do that. I mean, if you look at the title contenders, there's a Laporte, there's a Van Dijk. Chelsea made an effort and they signed Thiago Silva. Let's see how that works. It could be good for them. They need to make that big signing, or they need to have somebody step up. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. I do want to say that I do think Cavani's going to be a good short-term signing. He does well in two-man attacks, which it does look like he'll be in with Manchester United. He's a real, true striker. His position definitely isn't a winger, so I think it definitely helps Manchester United's attack, but jeez, this defense needs to be sorted out if they want any chance of reaching the top four this year. So for Tottenham, they had a stupid penalty conceded right away, and it was another bad start for them, but honestly, I've said before that I think Tottenham needs to face some sort of adversity in order to get going. So maybe it was a good thing that they conceded early, and it definitely showed. And Ndombele was able to capitalize off a Maguire mistake and get himself a goal. Then Kane got fouled and was really smart, took a quick free kick and set Son up for a goal. And Kane's been really creative this year. I mean, obviously that Southampton game kind of brings his score up a bit, but I think he leads the league in assists. He's got 6 so far. And Son and Kane combined again for the 3rd, and I can honestly just talk about Son and Kane for the Tottenham segments. There's some great players. Son got a 2nd goal off of an Aurier cross. Aurier later got another one, and then Kane put in a penalty. Obviously, it was just all Tottenham after the red card, but it was a great performance by them before that. I think they would have won regardless. And I do want to mention Højbjerg looked really good in possession. Not the biggest thing, but he looked good, and great result for Tottenham. Man of the match for today, I think I'd have to pick Heung-min Son. Great performance by him. 2 goals, an assist. He's such a huge threat. Great player. And now, you'd think that Manchester United losing 6-1 would be the craziest result of the day. It wasn't. Liverpool lost to Aston Villa 7-2. So before I go through either teams, I just want to run through the goals, because I feel like I should just do that first, so I can talk about the players more. Start off with Adrian giving the ball to Jack Grealish. He was able to set up Watkins for an easy goal. Then later, Grealish found Watkins again after Van Dijk stayed up in the attack after a Liverpool chance, and Watkins was able to score on the break. After that, Salah pulled one back. Diego Jota went on a great run, and Salah put it in to make it 2-1, but then John McGinn scored it was off a deflection off a corner to make it 3-1, and then Villa got a set-piece goal off Trezeguet picked up the ball and found Watkins to make Watkins have a first-half hat-trick. No idea what the marking was on that goal, but Villa was up 4-1 at half. Salah pulled one back to make it 5-2, but then Barkley added a goal for deflection, then another deflected goal for Grealish, and then Grealish made it 7. First time a reigning champion conceded 7 goals, apparently. And I get that Liverpool were trying to push forward, especially after halftime, but, you gotta have some pride. You gotta defend with some pride. You can't allow that to happen. So for Liverpool's individual players, I think one of the biggest problems in this game was Firmino. He really didn't punish a Martinez mistake, and he looks really short on confidence in front of goal. I think a comparison would be Benzema a couple years ago, where he just wasn't scoring, but he was clearly crucial to Real Madrid, and they were doing well with him. So it wasn't like you want to drop him, but you need to score him. You're the striker. You need to come up with some goals. Then Joe Gomez was awful today. He got beat by Watkins on the 2nd goal. He was marking really laxly, and just overall bad performance. And you have to wonder if Liverpool would be better off just sticking Fabinho at center back. Yeah, not a good performance by him. I think they really missed Henderson, who they dropped. Keita just really didn't provide the cover that he did, and Wijnaldum wasn't playing well as well. Obviously, Mane is missed, but Diego Jota was playing well, so I don't think he's a good excuse. I don't want to say for some positive. I think after the first goal, they did get back into the game. Firmino really should have scored, and they did get back into it after it went 2-0 down. Salah got one, and they showed fight, I guess. I don't think they ever gave up. Maybe their defense a bit. Van Dijk especially, he was not doing well, but aside from that, at least offensively, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, and Robertson, they were attacking really well, and Diego Jota, I don't think he has chemistry with this team yet. This was the second game in a row where he and another player went for a shot at the same time, but he was looking pretty good, and Salah got 2 goals, so obviously he was doing well. And honestly, they were just kind of unlucky this game. I mean, obviously you don't lose 7 goals if you don't concede 7 goals if you're not bad, but there was that Adrian mistake and 3 deflected goals. Honestly, Adrian didn't even have a bad game aside from that mistake, but she's not a good performance by Liverpool. Now for a good performance, we got Aston Villa. So things got started off when their press paid off and Grealish got the ball, gave Watkins a goal. As I mentioned, Grealish was playing great today. He was making a lot of chances. He had a couple good balls into Barkley. He was making good runs, but he couldn't really find a finish until the second half on that deflected goal. As you said, they were on the back foot for a little bit after when it was like 1 and 2-0, but they were still making as many chances as Liverpool, and they were deadly on the break. As I mentioned, Watkins got a hat trick, an amazing result by him. Him and Grealish were combining really well. I think Tyrone Mings was a beast this game. He's amazing in the air, and he had a really smart play on that on the 4th goal on the set piece. He was offside and he let the ball go by him. Not a lot of players will do that. Great job by him today, and just a great result all around. I mean, Trezeguet was playing well, McGinn was playing well, Luiz was doing his thing. Martinez did make a pretty big mistake, but it wasn't punished, and he obviously was doing well. I think Salah was getting the better of Target a lot. Maybe Liverpool should have attacked him a bit more, but you can't complain about too much for Aston Villa. Great job by them. Man of the match, it's tough for me because Grealish played so well, but Watkins got a hat trick. It's my rule, if you get a hat trick, you're man of the match. So it's Ollie Watkins. Great job by him. He got his first goal for Villa today. First 3. But he's been great all year. He forced Sheffield into that red card that gave them the first win. And Villa, 9 points out of 3 games. Great job by them. I didn't think they'd get relegated, but I didn't think they'd be doing this. Great job by them. Aside from those, it was a crazy game outside of the Premier League. Bayern, they had a 7-goal game. Lewandowski had 4. They had to keep getting their lead back. Chris Richards had an assist in there. Go USA. He started the game. First time he started for Bayern. And also, Giovanni Reina had 3 assists for Dortmund, and Pulisic came back. So, great result for America. And I would have liked to see Weston McKennie, but whatever happened with that Juventus game happened. I didn't get to see it completely because I was watching the Premier League games, but it looked like one of the teams had COVID, but Juventus still showed up even though they knew the game wasn't on. And honestly, really weird. It was just a really weird Sunday, but hey, a couple of great games, a lot of goals. Hey, fun day. That's about it. I'll see you.